This is a short video to help you do your jump starting a low maintenance battery. So I'm going to go through the steps to show you where to find the items, as well as talk you through the process of hooking it up. So we're going to use this cart as a vehicle and pretend that it's a vehicle. Your battery can be one of these on the cart that we charge underneath the battery service center. So I'll set that up, grab one off that tray. This will be our jumper vehicle. I do want to show you one other item on the batteries. Your sheet asks or suggests to look at the battery, check the self vent caps. The battery I put on the cart does not have removable vent caps, so I'm showing you one on this cart that does. Take a screwdriver or something that was fairly thin, it will pry the vent cap off. Then we are able to look down inside the battery to see how low the electrolyte is. You can see in the video this is down about an inch, and the one on the left is down lower than that. You may need to get a light to see. So it's above the plates, which is down underneath the water level, electrolyte level. There's a ring inside. It's about an inch down inside the battery case. Water should be up into that ring. So that's what they're referring to. And the vent cap just slides back in. They just press in. It's just a press fit, and they just pop off again with screwdriver. Battery acid is extremely corrosive. You do not want to use shop rags. Paper towels are the item to use. If you spill battery acid on your clothing, they will look like this. That's what's happened to these. Were a new pair of pants. Actually, here at Prairie a few years back, and a student had a battery blow up on them and battery acid on my pants. Not too long after that, the holes started to show up, and the holes just get worse. So I'm going to take this cart over to camera set up. Watch this. You obviously know at this point this is a live video, so there's no editing going on here. Jumper cables. They are in the tool room. They're sitting on the back wall. They should be hanging right there if they're put away. So check the battery in the vehicle that's dead, and see that the electrolyte level is up. It needs electrolyte up over the battery plates in order for it to generate electricity. Okay, so adjust the camera. There's a 4-step process to hooking up the jumper batteries. So this dead vehicle, the brown Jimmy here, is our dead battery. The person that is needing to jump, and the cart that I just rolled out is the jumper vehicle. Two rules that help you remember. You start and finish at the dead vehicle, hooking up the cables. You start and finish at the dead vehicle and make your ground connection last. I'm going to use the black leads for my ground. Batteries have a positive and negative. The negative is what we consider, or we call or refer to as the ground. So to follow those rules, we're going to start our connections at the dead vehicle. I'm going to do the ground connection last, which means I need to start with the positive, or the red. I'm going to try to keep this connection away from the red one and do the same thing here so they do not touch. I'm going to go directly to the battery. Positive lead, which normally is marked in red coloring. Doesn't have to be, but generally that's the method. This ground lead is not touching anything except the insulated cable. Positive first connection. I'm going to go positive in my second connection. If it's hard to read the plus or minus on the case, go to the largest post. The positive post is the largest of the two. This is called a top post type of battery. General Motors are famous or infamous, depending on your opinion, for the side post, meaning that the terminal is on the side of the battery, not on the top like this one. So connection 1, connection 2, ground connection is my third at the jumper vehicle, and my fourth and final connection will be somewhere away from the battery. Engine block is preferable. A good unpainted bare metal is the best conductor of electricity. These cables are pretty short, so in this example here we're going to have to get pretty close and find a metal bracket or an alternator bracket, which in this case is fairly close to the battery, but that is a good connection. When I make that last and fourth and final connection, that's when electricity will flow. There's going to be a spark. Just plan on it. Make the connection quick, and the sparks are minimal. At this point, we're ready to try to crank the dead vehicle. We won't do it for the assignment. We're just hooking up the jumper battery, and I'm wanting to see that your sequence is right. You can go positive to positive, negative to negative, battery to battery, and it will work. Electricity will flow. This is a safer method since batteries produce hydrogen gas. When they charge and discharge, they could have hydrogen gas present around the battery, as I showed you from my pants, hanging up in the classroom. Very explosive. It's very unstable, so a spark could set the battery, cause it to explode. So I'm trying to create that spark away from the battery, away from the hydrogen gas. Now, the best is to leave it set in a real situation. Let this battery, this vehicle running with the jumper battery to charge this battery up. If you're in a hurry and you have to crank it over right away, you can do that. I like to try and be at the clamp, and when the vehicle cranks over and starts up, I try to disconnect the battery right away so that it does not cause a voltage spike from this vehicle back into this battery and cause damage to the vehicle's electronics. So that's extreme. However, if I have a chance, I'm going to try to monitor these connections here, and as soon as this engine gets cranking over and it acts like it's going to run, you can tell it's going to start, unhook the battery. If you've charged it up and you're just disconnecting it, we want to reverse the procedure that we used to hook it up. So we're going to go 4, 3, 2, 1 on our connections. That was our fourth one. That'll be the first one we disconnect. put that so it's not touching anything except the cable. And back to this battery. There was a third one. There was a second connection we made. And now we disconnect it. One last thing. If either of these ends are hooked up to the battery, whether it be just in general, and these are hooked up to the battery inside the vehicle, these are now hot, meaning you do not want to touch these together. So you always want to isolate these. If somebody's there, have them stand with them apart when you begin the process of hooking up the battery cables, jumper cables, and do not let them touch because they will spark, just like if you took a wire and went across the battery terminals. So you do need to pay attention to what you're doing so you don't cause a spark. That's the process for jump starting a vehicle in our shop for our assignment. And good luck. Let me know when you're ready to get signed off.